Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome back to So You're Being Hunted, episode 529? Is it 9? Yeah, it is 9, isn't it? I think. Oh god, I can't even remember. Well, it doesn't really matter what number of video it is, because this is the episode that comes straight after my present hunting challenge and all that. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching me trying to flail around and actually get a load of in-game items that people had recommended that I try and find for them as their So You're Being Hunted in-game Christmas gifts. So I didn't manage to find everyone's there, but I certainly, gave it a damn good go, and I found some of the stuff that people asked for, namely usually for some of the easier stuff, I should say. But that challenge is over, and obviously by the time this video goes out, even though this is obviously pre-recorded long in advance, because I need to make sure it's ready to go on the channel before I come back up north, and thus don't have much time to record. Well, I won't have any time to record anything while I'm up north, because I won't have my recording stuff with me. I'll just have my basic computer and my headset, and I won't be able to record anything. But obviously this and probably the next couple of episodes are, like I say, they're going to be pre-recorded, just so I've got plenty of content to keep me going in the meantime on the channel. So, hope you had a good Christmas, because of course by the time this video goes out, Christmas will have been and gone. And now we'll be sort of counting down to the new year, to 2023. So, God, yeah, I mean, as a kind of topic of conversation, since this is going to be like a podcast-style episode, this, ladies and gentlemen, I was sort of wondering, what are people's expectations for 2023? Are they hoping for a good year? Is there anything really good that you're actually expecting to happen in 2023? Any interesting events that you're looking forward to? Anything like that? I mean, I know for some people out there in the world, it's not going to be a great year, because obviously conflict in Ukraine is still ongoing and all that. And of course there's conflicts all around the world, in fact, still ongoing, and problems. And yes, do spare a thought, of course, for those out there who are less fortunate than ourselves and all that. But, without kind of sounding too depressing, let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. What sort of stuff are you looking forward to in 2023? Have you started thinking about your New Year's resolutions yet and all that? I've mentioned this before, obviously, that when it comes to New Year's resolutions, I really don't actually go in for that. I never make one myself, because I know I'll just never keep it, or I'll never stick to it, rather. So what's the point, eh? But, people do. People stick to them, and they hope for the best. So, I shouldn't really get too much into this topic of conversation, just because, me and Phil are likely to talk about it a little bit when me and him get the next chance to actually do recordings once I'm back down south, and we get a chance to do our post-Christmas 2022 roundup and all that. But I'm sure people can start thinking about their new year in the comments below and all that in advance of that particular episode. I mean, what the topic of conversation is very much going to be in that part. It's going to be me and Phil sort of saying the usual stuff we say in our Christmas roundups that we do every single year. But, God, yes. What were we doing on New Year's? Come to think of it. Probably the same as I do for every New Year, staying in with family, watching the Hootenanny with Jules Holland or whatever. At least that's the plan, and it'll probably be the thing that happens. I'm trying to think as well, actually, Christmassy themed subjects, since, what sort of movies did I probably watch over Christmas? Obviously because this video is going out after Christmas Day itself, it's kind of awkward, but I'm just going to take a guess that recording now, sort of in mid-December, I can sort of wager at least one film that will probably be on during my stay with my family. When my older sister gets control of the television, she'll probably put on like a sort of Disney animated version of Christmas Carol or something. Which isn't bad, because there's the version that I'm actually thinking of, I think, was it Jim Carrey who voiced Ebenezer Scrooge? It was an animated one. It was actually quite a fun one to watch, so that's usually quite fun. So no doubt that'll have been on over the Christmas period, and I'll probably be able to verify that in a future episode once we get into, well into the new year. and I'm back down south, back at work, and just have a time to record some more Sir and all that. I feel like another film that usually always comes on here in the UK around about Christmas time is always 1951's Walt Disney Alice in Wonderland, which I've talked about before here on the channel as a Disney film that I actually do kind of like and I do enjoy watching. That'll probably come on. There's other sort of typical programmes as well on like BBC that they usually do. They always have sort of like animated adaptations of sort of children's stories by what's her name? A woman here in the UK. She's a children's author. Is it Julia Donaldson? Julia Donaldson, the one who wrote The Gruffalo, I think. There's always usually an animated adaptation of one of her stories, whether that's like The Gruffalo's Child, Room on the Broom, or whatever. So usually there'll be one of those on. If it's not an original one, it'll probably be a repeat of one that's been done before. I'll tell you actually something that you can guarantee is always going to be on here in the UK around about Christmas time. The Snowman, with Alan Jones singing in it, or walking in the air and all that. Or if not that, it'll be the sequel to it, The Snowman and the Snow Dog. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's typical Christmas fare, it's heartfelt, it gives you that very warm feeling. Though, to be honest, I must say, the ending of The Snowman is always depressing as hell, though, isn't it? Because, of course, he melts. He dies. That's it. It's like, the kid and the snowman, they go on these great sort of adventures. It's really heartwarming and all that. And then it just ends with the kid one day waking up like, oh, I'm going to go outside and play with the snowman. But then he gets out and, of course, the air's heated up outside a little bit and the snow's starting to melt and, of course, there's no snowman there anymore. And it's just like, oh, well, that's a frigging downer right at the end of that, at the end of that little animated film, isn't it? Good God. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that one. And of course, people around about this time, since we're on the subject of, TV and film, people will be having the endless debates over which Christmas movies they want to watch and all that. And truth be told, there's a lot of Christmas movies out there which, again, I'm going to sound like a real Grinch, but there's a lot of Christmas movies out there that I just don't really care for. Basically, a lot of the ones with Will Ferrell in them. I hate to say it. Yes, like Elf and stuff like that. I just, no. I'm not interested. And what's the one about the guy who becomes Santa Claus after Santa Claus dies? Did that have Robin Williams in it? I can't remember. That's another one that I don't really care for. Having said that, Jim Carrey starring as the Grinch, that's actually one that is quite entertaining. I'll watch that one. There you go. Oh dear. And of course the perennial debate, who can forget, ladies and gentlemen, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I have a confession to make though, ladies and gentlemen. I've never actually watched Die Hard. Never seen it. Don't know anything about it, other than the fact it stars Bruce Willis. But I was actually at my work's Christmas meal out one evening a few weeks ago. Well, a few weeks ago, as of when this video gets published on the channel, that is. It's a few days ago, as of when I actually record this. But, yeah, on the table I was sat at with some of my colleagues, that is the exact topic that came up at one point. Die Hard, is it a Christmas movie? And everyone was like, well, it's set at Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. And I'm just like there thinking, I am fucking foolish. But that really ties in actually with the topic that me and Phil have talked about here before on the Being Hunted series, about how neither of us are really big sort of movie people. There's a lot of films out there, classics, which me and him, we just haven't watched. And that really sort of came out actually at my work's Christmas do, because at one point the conversation actually got on to Top Gun, because obviously Top Gun's had a sequel recently. And I must confess, I've never even seen the original Top Gun. Well, Tom Cruise and all that. Navy pilot. Maybe I should watch that at some point. Because my colleagues were like, whoa, Andrew, how can you not have watched Top Gun? In our work context, dealing with academic subjects like international security and military affairs, how can you not have watched Top Gun? And you know what? It's a fair point. I feel like I should have. Maybe it's like a rite of passage for all of those of us in the sort of academic, kind of international relations sphere to watch all these kind of military-themed films and whatever else have you. I mean, the thing is, I've seen my share of like World War II films, things like that. Bridge Over the River Kwai, friggin' Dam Busters, and others as well. But having said that, actually, there are probably a lot of other war films that I've still yet to watch. That's not really a festive theme. That let's not really talk about war movies. Oh dear. God, yeah. I'm trying to think what other Christmas movies are there out there. Are there any that I have seen? Obviously, the Muppets Christmas Carol. Everyone's seen that. Yes, I've watched that too, with Michael Caine. My name is Michael Caine. I'm also Nigel Powers. I can't really do a good Michael Caine impersonation to save my life. Michael Caine is one of those actors who, no matter what movie he's in, what film he's in, he sounds the exact same. He doesn't really play a character, he's just himself, if that makes sense. And, there's quite a few actors out there who are like that. That's a good topic, actually. I should save that for another Sir You're Being Hunted episode, another podcast episode. In fact, I might do it actually for the next one or something. Actors who sound like themselves, whatever movie they're actually in. So we've got Michael Caine, and there are other actors who I can definitely think of who also fit that bill, but I won't spoil them here. We'll talk about them later on, ladies and gents. Alright, well, you know what, I think that'll probably do for just a quick sort of pre-recorded bit of Sir content to go out over the Christmas period. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'll probably get recording the next one straight away, since I have a topic in mind and all that. Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with the link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like is always appreciated. I won't say Merry Christmas, of course, ladies and gentlemen, because by the time this video goes out, it'll have been past us. So instead, I'll say have a Happy New Year, right? Goodbye, everybody.
I think we need to just go back and take a break.
Yeah, I do. Oh my god, there's like loads below. Where do they come from?
Oh,
They are swarming me. Alright, at least charging me the health. That's the good news. Oh shit. Oh, what the? Oh, I've got no ammo in that thing. Come on. Oh god, the friggin' ammo. Shit, switch weapons. Quicker, please. Oh my god.
Oh my god, they're coming on now.
Fuck. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. They're just like pile-drived into me all at once. Why are there so many of them? I'm stuck in a corner.
Oh my god, what a hit.
Oh, come on, quick.
Oh, there you go. Oh my god.
That was crazy fucking ridiculous. Just fucking... Good lord. Well, at least I took them all down. I have special power.